Afford anything and everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. Honorable. And you don't have to hold a camera. You can hold the hand of somebody that you love, because what happens next to you, you're going to need to remember that feeling.
So you've probably heard the rumors, but let's get this straight. Liver King wasn't just spiraling. He went on a full-blown, drug-fueled rampage with one mission in his head: to make people pay. And Joe Rogan was at the very top of that list.
Yeah, I'm on the road. Heading to you, Joe Rogan. You fucked up. The Liver King cells have been activated all across the country. And here I come from North Carolina, straight to your punk ass.
This wasn't some empty threat for attention. This man had been obsessing over Rogan for years from his ranch, building a twisted fantasy fueled by a cocktail of illegal drugs and insane experimental treatments. We're talking shock therapy, private nurses, unapproved medical devices, stuff that literally fries your brain. Now remember that box he was carrying around with Joe Rogan's face plastered on it? That wasn't some fanboy shrine. That box had a gun and a wad of cash inside.
Real beef. It's a real fight, yeah. And there comes bearing a. See if I can. You want to see just a little. I don't. Did
What kind of gift is that? The plan: drive to Austin, show up at Joe Rogan's doorstep, and settle the score. This wasn't just about Rogan. Liver King had a whole list. The producers and directors of the Liver King Netflix doc. He wanted them to suffer. He ranted about their religion, spewed anti-Semitic slurs, and labeled them as fake Jews and greedy slimeballs. It was disgusting. Then came the YouTubers. Derek from More Plates, More Dates, Vigorous Steve, and John Bravo himself. Anyone who exposed him, criticized him, or didn't play his game was now an enemy. In his twisted mind, they all ruined his career, and they needed to pay. Liver King even accused John Bravo of talking trash about his wife, when in reality, it was her sending Bravo wild messages.
Queen starts to tell me about this character, Johnny Bravado or something. And she's like, yeah, because I invited her to Austin. I said, Queen, okay, just finished the yoga thing. Now, hey, you want to go to Austin with me? Want to go? Do we have any plans for Monday? No. Okay, want to go to Austin? She's going, so she's coming, so good. And then she says something about Johnny Bravo, and she's like, yeah, he's responding. And I said, oh, good, that's good. And I said, you're not responding, right? And she said, yeah, I did. And I said, oh, Queens probably don't have to do that with slime balls like him and the man who's trying to pick a fight with a beautiful lady. That's my queen. You shouldn't unsubscribe or tell him to do better. What you should do is probably pay him more to do more not good and true. That makes sense, right? Or just make him fucking pay too. Because I don't know what he did. I don't know the videos that he made. But you guys might, and if you do know, then in-kind trade, you should probably do it. Like an eye for an eye kind of means something, right?
He blamed everyone but himself. Too far gone to look in the mirror and realize he was the problem. And what was his master plan? According to him, he'd go eye for an eye. But SWAT wasn't about to let that happen. They surrounded him, knowing he was armed, paranoid, and unstable. They had to calm the situation down before it exploded. Inside sources say there were more guns, and the feds weren't taking chances. This man was ready to go full movie scene showdown if they hadn't stepped in. John Bravo says we haven't even scratched the surface. Former employees from Liver King's ranch are coming forward, ready to talk. And the stories, they're even darker than what's already out there. This is what happens when delusion, fame, and drugs collide. So when Liver King said, "I'm coming to you, Joe Rogan," that wasn't hype. That wasn't content. That was a real, dangerous meltdown. He wanted to live stream it. He packed his whole family into the car, dogs, wife, and all, and said they were headed to Texas with gifts. But one look inside that box said it all. This isn't alpha. This isn't primal. This is insane. He tried to justify everything with this whole "I'm a real man" act. But the truth? Real men don't hide behind violence and delusion. Real men don't drag their families into chaos and call it a mission. And now, he's behind bars, exactly where he belongs. But don't think this story's over, because according to John Bravo, what happened at the Liver Ranch is just the beginning. Stay tuned.